djlonghairorig here in the house. We are experiencing some tech difficulties for our guest. We are working on it, so bear with me here, but we'll get started. We're not live on this video because this was shown earlier, but we are live reacting. I've heard a couple things, but I have not got into it yet. So give it a couple minutes. We're waiting for a couple people to figure out if it's passable or not. I keep seeing Dan and Brian flicker, so I might have to send new links. Let me try that. See if it's being weird. I'm gonna generate a new link. Yes. Oh, it won't let me generate a new link. Oh. Okay, well, I got what I got, guys. Okay, well, and make sure this is the same link I sent since it's being weird. Yeah, I see you. Hello. No. Great. Well, he got all his graphics and everything up and running, but it's being weird. I don't know why it's jumping people in and out. Okay. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and move forward. Hopefully they'll get connected and in, but I'm going to go ahead and start the video. All right, here we go. Oh, crap. Ooh, 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 ooh. Let's do that and try again. Okay, there you go. Audio's on. Beautiful. All right, here we go.
Hello and welcome to an incredibly special weekly MTG. We have an amazing show for you today. It is the first look at Magic the Gathering Star Trek. So what is a first look? Why are we doing this in July when the set comes out much later this year? Well, every year, sometime around now, distributors, stores have to start putting in their orders, and we like to let them know a little bit more about what's going on with the set so they can kind of make their decisions. But you know what? As a bonus, you get to see stuff too. So we're going to show a bunch of stuff from the upcoming Star Trek set today. We're going to preview cards, we're going to show booster fun, we're going to talk about the headliners, we're going to steal some cool moments from the show's history.
What's up, Jamie?
And we're going to talk about all of that with two fantastic guests here. I will note, you may be out in the world right now. You may see Gavin or me on an airplane or in Amsterdam. We're pre-taping this because you're seeing this right before MagicCon Amsterdam, and we're flying or somewhere in the world at this point in time. But we wanted to make sure to get this out for all of you to enjoy. So to do all this taped, we have Gavin and Tom. Why don't you tell us real quick what'd you work on the set, and give me a little bit when you fall in love with Star Trek.
Yeah, so hey everybody, my name's Gavin Verhey, principal designer on Magic the Gathering. And I was lead designer for the set. I started working on the set years and years ago. It's been a long time coming, but in a way I've been working on it for a very long time because I fell in love with Star Trek when I was about 6 or 7 years old. I was watching some episodes of the original series with my dad on our old little tiny TV, and it became a thing we all did as a family together, was watch Star Trek. So I've loved it for a long time, watched the series as they've come out, and I have so many favorite episodes, but I gotta say, my fave is The Inner Light. I love this episode. It is an amazing story telling how Picard sees like an entire life play out before his eyes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. What are you, Tom?
I'm Tom Jenkott. I'm the creative director for Booster Fun and Secret Lair Drop. Unlike Blake and Gavin, I'm live, so I don't believe what they're saying.
How we pulled that off is anyone's guess.
I've watched like everything Star Trek, but I'm definitely an original series guy. Some of my favorites are the Devil in the Dark, the Ultimate Computer, Taste of Armageddon, like these things where they deal with like societal issues is really cool. I'm super excited to have worked on what the collectability plan is, all the special different treatments, leading a team doing that. It was just kind of a dream, and I may have done too much. I may have
Absolutely
put
not.
too
No.
many
So
cool
this
things
set,
in
this
there.
set, and we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it pretty fast. This set has some of the coolest collectibles that we've ever created, and we're gonna get to those pretty soon. But to do that, first I wanted to start by talking about the captains. I mean, the captains really kind of define the eras of Star Trek, and so we are going to start with a pair of preview cards for captains. And there's only one place for us to start. It's with Captain James T. Kirk. So, Gavin, why don't you start us off talking a little bit about the design?
Not a
of
big
Kirk here?
fan of that
Absolutely.
first art. A
And
little
knew we had to do
off-putting.
Kirk. Obviously, there's going to be a Kirk.
Looks
in the
like he's
set,
got a
right?
pencil
The
loaf.
captain of the original series, one of the most iconic characters in all of science fiction. Here is Captain James T. Kirk. Every turn, you get to do a little something. He gets to make a choice. And when his back is
All
up
right,
against the
welcome,
wall,
Brian.
when you're out of
Dan,
options,
it's
that's
doing
when you
the
get to do
thing to
all of
Dan
them, which I think
again.
is quite
Hold on a
fun.
second.
One thing I'll note on this card in particular is on the
Hey, what's up, bro?
I figured out what the problem was.
Oh,
It was somehow when logged into Obi and Streamlabs, it was looking at an OBS virtual camera.
oh, okay. Yeah, no,
And-
yeah, you don't really go live, but Dan has had problems with them because he has another stream key, and he uses OBS. So it is. We've dealt with this before, so it's just like, bruh. Anyways, Dan, I'm sorry you're going through it. Yeah, why is he red? That is a good question, Jamie. I gotta move my chat too. All right, hold on a second. Let me get this fixed.
The reason that he's red is because he's aggressive. He's a go-getter. He's all about action now, and that's totally the
Okay.
red thing.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You'll see later. Did they cover Janeway yet?
Just started, bud.
Okay, go.
Okay.
first mode is discard a card, then draw a card, but the drawing a card is not contingent on you discarding. So if you're out of cards, you actually just go up a card, which is really strong. So when his back is against the wall, when he's battered and beat up, like in that first image there, he's ready to go at his strongest. And this is a really exciting red aggressive card, and I think shows off Captain Kirk in a great way. It's not the only Kirk you'll see across the product suite, of course, but he is a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
And Tom, the booster fun here is gorgeous. What's going on with this classic Enterprise?
Yeah, so for these classic Enterprise cards, we definitely wanted to lean into this retro vibe. We looked at like old movie posters, old lobby cards, which were just smaller movie posters inside the theater. You can see that we leaned into this bubbly texture, like you can see the Enterprise there around the set symbol. And I've personally held one of those Surge cards, and oh my God, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Also getting
So the
some
other
of these
one is the
treatments.
Surge
We've got
foil.
Captain
So
Catherine
542, yeah.
Janeway here. We get with the L-Cars frame and the regular. So let's start with talking about the design here, Gavin.
Yeah, absolutely. So Voyager fans,
Okay,
of course,
could you
Janeway's
pause
here.
it
One of the great things I
here?
love about this set is it
Because I
covers
wanted to
all of Star
explain
Trek,
that.
right? So if there's a show or
Okay. The thing is, you saw Kirk as red, being aggressive, but here Janeway all about exploring. As you can see on the cards,
okay.
you play additional lands. You've got the explore mechanic there, so that's why the different colors, and it's not locked into a specific color for captains or Federation or whatnot.
Right. Okay. With the retro Trek, kind of reminds me a little bit of the old Decipher game a little bit, but all right. I'm not 100 on it yet, but let's move on.
a character you love, decent chance they're in this set, I'd say, especially the big ones. Janeway is, on the Voyager, out, lost, constantly exploring. And we thought, what better place to bring back the explore mechanic? Now, explore was something we actually tried throughout the whole set for a little while. It did not end up sticking, but we kept it on exactly Janeway in the main set. So it was kind of one of those cameo mechanics showing up there. And you could play extra lands, and when you play creatures, you get to go exploring. So it's a pretty good engine as well for your decks out there. A very cool card. And then the L cards frame, Tom, let's talk about this.
Yeah, like as soon as we saw in the brainstorming sessions, as soon as we saw the Voyager L cards computer screen, we knew it was going to be a frame, right? And it just really worked perfectly here. It's a perfect container.
I'll also say one thing we saw both on Kirk with the token and Catherine and Janeway here is Officer is a new creature type showing up in this set. There's a lot of stations someone could have on a starship. Officer was a good catch-all, so you'll see plenty of officers throughout this set.
So
now,
new
what
tribe
we're certainly going to be
officer.
looking at
Okay.
are these headliner cards. We are going to take a short, it's not a break. We're going to go to a video. They're going to show you some headliner cards. We're going to come back and talk about it. So let's take a look at this video. Be prepared
Please
for
don't have
something
music.
very cool. So that's right, for
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering. Well, this one shows that it's signed over the human officer, so they might have actually signed on card.
Yes,
but
are
don't
signed
be surprised.
They are
Yeah.
signed on the card. These are real. They are limited to 200 each.
Okay.
So not only are these autograph cards, unique with real actors' signatures, on it, which enhances collectability, but
Right.
they're also limited, which is like a serialized. So it's going to this headliner is going to be, even if you're not a Magic the Gathering fan, Star Trek fans especially, because people stand in. I've been to a couple of conventions, and I know that to get Stan Lee's signature, people would stand in for hours.
Yeah.
And have to pay $100 a signature.
Yeah.
So these
Sure.
are going to be collectible.
Yeah.
You're going to stick these in slabs.
Right. I know to get Kirk's or God, why can't I think of his name right now?
Shatner.
Yeah, Shatner. Mind blank. Shatner's not that difficult to get if you catch him at a con, but yeah, you're waiting in massive lines. Kate is pretty easygoing.
You're waiting in a massive line and paying a massive amount of money, somewhere between $75 and $150 or $200 to get that signature.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's a nice come up, but I'm not 100 on the art, and of course there's no text, so you have to look up the card. Not that you would necessarily play with this, but I'm just I don't know. It's all right. Janeway looks a little funky though. Nice job on Kirk though, but Janeway looks a little weird. But other than that,
that's a classic Janeway pose. So
no, the pose is fine. It's just her face is a little weird. It's all good. I mean, it's just a little hang up, but as far as the border goes, it's the classic stuff, and then you got the signed thing. Okay, moving on.
For the first time in Magic's history, these are cards with actual signatures on them. And
On the
Tom,
card itself.
My understanding, you were
Oh, what I was
actually
gonna say is that like Topps and the other companies that do the sports signatures or the trading card signatures, typically they'll get the artist, and what it will be is they literally sign a piece of tape and then a special tape or whatever, and then they post that on the card. But here, I don't really see that. I'm seeing that the signature is actually over like the human officer, so I think they might have actually signed the card.
yes, they said.
Yeah.
Listen, they'll explain it. One of the guys was actually there in Shatner's office when he signed the cards.
Oh, cool. All right, let's go then.
there when they signed them.
Okay.
Yeah, I personally oversaw this project, working all of the contracts, etc., bringing these cards to these actors to have them signed. It was quite an experience, obviously, for being such a fan. William, we were at William's office in California. Clearly, he was there for decades, and he was like an absolute pro, at signing, right? He had me hold down the cards. I guarantee you, a lot of these have my fingerprints on them. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
And he signed him, and then my partner Brian Boyce grabbed him. Like, and as soon as that one was grabbed, he was signing the next one. Absolute pros. He's asking about Magic fans, how these cards would show up, all sorts of things. It was a very interesting. And we, for Kate Mulgrew, we met her at the Star Trek convention in Vegas in 2025. We went up to her suite. While she was signing cards, she talked to us about recent roles she had been in and how important it was for her to be the first female captain.
Very cool. And now, Gavin, I saw that there are 7 total of these. Or should we expect them all to be captains?
No, we've shown you 2 captains today, and certainly that makes sense for some of them, but they're not all captains. There's some other characters that are so iconic, they had to get in on the fun too. So do a little guessing game, try and see if you can guess who the other 5 are.
They clearly had to be people who are...
All right, let's go. I'm assuming Data is maybe one of the other officers. What else do you got?
Q for 1.
Q? Yeah, he likes to sign stuff, so probably Q. What about Christopher Lloyd, maybe?
I don't know.
Nah. It would be. I'm assuming it would be next gen because you only have. I mean, maybe Sulu. Maybe. I don't know. Because he likes everything about. He's.
Maybe Sulu, but maybe it's like Captain Sulu.
Well, we don't know him as captain necessarily. He was captain in one movie, barely. But he did his own fan show and stuff like that, where he was the prominent captain. I'm
also thinking maybe also the Borg Queen.
Maybe.
So, Q, the Borg Queen.
Oh, you know what? And the other from Discovery, maybe her. Maybe. I'm trying to think. Okay, well, let's move on. They're not going to tell us, so. But yeah, if you guys are watching, let us know your ideas for the other 5. I'm assuming possibly Data. But I am not 100. I'm guessing the gal from Discovery, maybe Data. I'm not sure if they got to Lloyd, but they probably. I don't know. We have to see who showed up at the convention at 2025, and that will narrow it down for us. So. And they said it wasn't necessarily officers, so it could be anyone. All right, moving on.
Alive and actors, so
that does help. Yeah, that does help.
So live actors.
There's some fun ones in there, and I'm excited for you to see them all. And it's such a cool moment to get to know that like these actors saw these cards, signed them, and then we have to put them in the booster packs. That's just incredible.
Yeah.
About how many of them are there, Tom?
So all in all, there's a little north of 200 of each of these out there.
All right. Okay. Let's now. So something we don't often do at first look is talk mechanics. We usually save those for the debut. But Gavin, when we were talking about this set, it just became apparent how woven into the fabric of the set. I mean, it's true for a lot of sets and every set in a way, but how we just really couldn't talk about this set in any form or fashion without talking about the mechanics.
Yeah, the set is very unique in a lot of ways. When you think about Star Trek, you think about moral choices, you think about diversity of characters, you think about building up and trying to go out exploring. And of course there's some combat, there's spaceships shooting at each other, and people doing reconnaissance missions on the ground. But a lot of it is not that. And Magic is a game that has a lot of combat in it. So how are we going to tackle this? And one of the notes I've heard the most from fans is how are you going to make those things work together, right?
Yeah.
And I want to show you some of the mechanics today to kind of highlight how we did that.
Yeah.
So let's start with one that's returning, that is a great example of a build-up mechanic that makes so much sense for Star Trek, to the surprise of maybe no one.
Absolutely 0 people are surprised to see the Enterprise here.
Right, so you might spend a bunch of time crewing up your spacecraft, which is coming back from Edge of Eternities.
Oh, he stayed
This is not
time.
the only Enterprise in the set. In fact, I'll tell you the main set has an uncommon, a rare, and a mythic rare. But this is a pretty darn cool one that is a card.
Okay, hold on a second. Hello? Hello?
Ding dong.
Okay,
New.
he's still working out the kinks. He has the ability to pop in when he's able. So I'm gonna move on.
Advantage engine on top of a 4/5 flying vigilance, so not too shabby. And it really goes to show that build-up gameplay, right? You're like slowly turning this on over time and getting some cards as you kind of do it. And then one thing I'll call out is even once it's a creature, you can keep stationing it to flip the top card of your library. So it continually lets you pick up new cards over time. And we just knew it was going to be a slam dunk for the set, and you'll see the Enterprise as well as many other starships that you recognize here, because the starships in Star Trek are almost just as iconic as the characters.
Yeah, there. Now, you were talking earlier about how there's a lot of choices and
Okay, so just to address your question, you're not a big Star Trek person, but are there evil officers? Yes. Are all officers of the Federation? It's primarily about the Federation. So key villains, although they won't be villains because that's a Marvel thing. It seems we've had some villains in the past, but it was unsets. So. Oh, and there's one villain. I think there's one villain in bruh, come on, think. Oh, there's one villain in why is my brain like stopping, man? The commander only set, it's got the call box.
That's the
It's so
TARDIS.
simple, huh?
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, thank you. I think there's one villain in Doctor Who. But I could be wrong. I have to look again. But when you pull up a villain as a creature type in the database, you will only see a couple unset cards as a villain. There might be the one from Doctor Who, but it's all Marvel. So we won't necessarily see a villain in this necessarily. But
you're right. There are going to be evil officers. I mean,
yeah.
There's the Maquis. We're probably going to see some Maquis officers.
Maybe. I don't. Well, they didn't show.
Well, the one in DS9. The one that
they didn't show
you know,
DS9 though. Like they should have had Homie as a forefront because he was a captain too. So that's a little interesting that we might not get these.
Cisco does appear later.
Oh, okay. But he's not the picture of the main captain. They have the new captain or officer or whatever from Discovery, but I didn't see him as prominent. So that's interesting. Going through your starships. Nice. I looked through a couple bulk wall back to see if find another villain for you. Yeah, he's not in my color, so I'm not concerned. But I do remember seeing one. So anyway, all right, moving on. So officers is new to this set, Jamie. There's no previous officers before, at least none that they haven't retconned yet, or added text in the main card library. So anyway. Oh, yeah. I've been looking. Yeah, I will contact them after the stream. And we didn't get a response last time we tried to get through that, and it's like, dude. Anyway, we're staying on topic, but yeah, I will definitely hit them up after the stream, bud.
and thinking. And so how did you represent that mechanically?
Yeah, we spent a long time trying to figure out how to bring that to a Magic the Gathering Star Trek set. And we came along a couple things. I'm going to show you some of them to you today. So the first one I want to show you is something you've seen before, but makes a lot of sense here. And that are these modal choice cards. So in Star Trek, you have a lot of decisions you have to make. People are always having quandaries about what they should do. And we figured what better way than to actually have you make those choices. So with the card on the left, set phasers to stun or kill is maybe one of the most iconic lines in the show. And now you can make that choice. And stun counters are like the perfect thing for this, right?
Oh, go ahead. I was always thinking too with the choices with McCoy and Spock and Kirk, like they always kind of represented like a single brain to me, kind of thinking out loud, making internal
discussing
choices.
and figuring this out. So, Tom, you're playing the set and you're like hearing them in your head.
Yeah, for sure. Probably not just when I'm playing the set, probably all the time.
You have a Spock on one shoulder and Kirk on the other shoulder, and you're either they're arguing a little bit. So you'll see a lot of modal choices in the set. I love that we brought back flavor words to use on them to really show off what the modes are as well. And so you could, set phasers to stun or kill, or are you going to interfere with this planet and help them out, or observe and oh no, they get tapped and stunned. But we also wanted to do something else. After we put enough these modal cards in the set, we're like, this is really an iconic part of the set. Can we do something with that?
I want to pause you there, just because I know where you're going. But I wanted to, I want to go back to the cards. Because this, I thought, was a really good place to pause and talk about, the mix of artists for this set. Zoltan Boros has done a ton of Magic stuff. And Tom, I know you worked with a lot of those artists.
Yeah, here he is like doing some of his best. And so it's just worthwhile to mention that like a lot of classic Magic artists are so excited about some of these properties. As soon as they hear a property that we're working on, they are just emailing all the ADs that they know to get on this set. And here we see Zoltan doing something here. He's definitely working on other properties. People are just really excited to get on. The artists are very excited.
Absolutely. All right, Gavin, I interrupted you, but you were talking about how these choices then were woven more into the set.
It's all good. We love a good cliffhanger episode, a two-parter as it were. So we wanted to weave these choices more and more into the set, and we came with something new that we've never done in Magic before, that is a brand new thing for the set, and that is calling these dilemmas. So let's go to the next card. So whenever you face a dilemma, and you face a dilemma whenever you pick a mode for a spell or ability,
there's 7 of 9.
Any modal choice card in Magic history. It could be the cards we just saw, like Set Phasers 2. It could be the Kirk that we saw as the first card today. It could be Vision Charm from years and years ago. Those are all dilemmas that you face, and then something happens when you face that dilemma. And usually, if it's on a character, it's how that character would act when they encounter some kind of challenge, right? If they're in a dilemma themselves. 7 of 9 is always about learning, acquiring information, trying to figure out what's going on. And so when she faces a dilemma, she's like, you know what? I'd like a little more information before I make my choice, and that's exactly what she's going to do here. Dilemmas show up mostly in blue-black in the set, and it is a fun little way to kind of build a brand new kind of deck. Modal choices are throughout the whole set, but specifically dilemmas show up in blue-black. And I look forward to players looking back at all of Magic history and trying to find their favorite dilemmas to go and face as they build, say, a commander deck with 7 of 9.
Can we say cryptic
All right,
command?
let's take a look at our next preview card.
Any modal card,
We have Hoshi Sato with that Federation ability, Gavin.
Yeah, so one of the other things that's really important about Star Trek, as I mentioned at the top here, was that diversity of character and species, right? It's about bringing a crew of all kinds of different folks together
Not an
in one
officer.
place, and I wanted a mechanic to represent that. So Federation counts the number of unique creature types among non-Borg creatures you control, which is especially notable because in Star Trek, nobody's an alien, right? You will not find the alien type on a single card in this set because everybody is from somewhere. And so I wanted to highlight that and make that matter in some way. And so counting them all up was a pretty unique way to do that. And it's, if you work hard, you can get Hoshi Sato to find. Look at a lot of cards from the top of your library.
Yeah.
You might be wondering why the non-Borg thing is there. Well, there's 2 reasons. One is the Borg don't hang out with the Federation, so that makes sense. The second is we had to make sure that changelings did not go crazy with this, right?
Yeah.
If you control one changeling, you didn't look at your entire library. So that was the thing we were pretty careful about, and that's why that's showing up there. There's not a ton of these cards in the set. There's only a handful, but I think it's a good little touch on top to make it feel like you're doing something like building a crew, and makes it feel very different from something else you've played before.
Absolutely. So those are the mechanics we are going to talk about, but we're not done with preview cards. Not even.
Or mechanics, by the way. Like there are more
There
mechanics
is
in this set.
technically, yes. This is the mechanics. I think we're going to touch on something
Can we
later.
just show them everything?
We're going to show them as much as we can. We're not holding back. We're holding back some things. But I thought it might be fun. Again, we've talked about, when you started on Star Trek and what your favorite series is. I thought it'd be fun to go through some of the series, somewhat, not all of them. Again, we're holding some things back.
Right.
But to go through some familiar characters and moments from the series across time. And of course, we're going to start with the original series, Tom, your favorite. And one of your favorite moments in cards, we're going to start with highly illogical.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this moment. I love that Spock is not
The
freaking
hell?
out. He is observing. I love where we took this moment too from the original series, like the look of it, the look of the rabbit, right?
And for me, one of the fun things was getting quotes on cards, things that you want to say if you're playing a Star Trek set.
Yeah.
Highly illogical was a
Can
day
you
one where we
pause
have
for
to
a
get that in the
second
set
here?
somewhere.
Sure.
And as a counterspell, it's perfect, right?
Yo. Bunny.
You realize that this is depicting the whole thing where they had the white rabbit and everything, and they had all these illusions and everything. But just think about rabbits, and especially the rabbit. The heir apparent.
Yeah.
This counters heir apparent. Because heir apparent, I believe, is 2 mana, a white
okay.
So this kind of fits kind of in a broader sense, and how people just hate those stupid rabbit decks. So I like this. I'm not always a big counterspell fan, but I like this counterspell and how it's portrayed. So continue.
Yeah. Well, if you really need to, it's not multi-kicker, so it's just you could pay 4 to counter anything or 2 to counter mana value 2 or less. It's not horrible.
Well, there's a lot of 2 or less,
Yeah.
creatures that-
Opponent plays a spell, and you're like, that's highly illogical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we have a creature that does spell some fear. We have a Salt Vampire.
The hell?
This is a wild card. Tom,
First
give us a
there's,
little context of the
TOS,
Salt Vampire.
yeah.
I love
Oh, the original?
Nancy
Okay.
here. I love me some good Salt Vampire. Again, we see this in these retro frames here. This is a creature from the very first aired episode of Star Trek. Somebody pointed out to me earlier, not the first filmed, but the first aired. So that's super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gavin, mechanically, what do we see with the Salt Vampire?
Yeah, this card is very exciting. It's a 2-mana vampire, so vampire fans get excited. It kind of has a Vendelian click style effect, where you look at their hand, you exile one of their cards, and they get a brand new card, plus it's a lifelinker to boot. One of the things that was really fun about the set for me was finding that fusion of Magic and Star Trek. And you've got a vampire in your show? Well, Magic has a lot of vampires. Let's get that in the set somewhere, right? So it's a cool way to kind of blend those 2 things together.
Absolutely.
And I think you can expect to see a lot of Salt Vampires out there on your Magic tables in the future.
Now, we started talking, favorite series, favorite episodes, favorite stories, which, of course, Gavin leads us into.
Sagas. So something that I love are trying to find ways to represent the episodes of Star Trek through storytelling, and one of the best ways to do that in Magic are sagas. So in the main set, there are 5 uncommons and 5 rares that are 10 iconic episodes from throughout the series history. We're going to show you a couple today. You can guess at maybe some of the others. But for this one, it's one of the most iconic shots in all of Star Trek.
Iconic, yeah. This episode always felt like kind of 2 episodes to me. I love, it's such a good one.
And as Spock and Kirk fight each other, and then one of them wins, and it's over, but oh no, the other one is dead. Except, don't worry, they're not actually. They come right on back. And it kind of tells that little moment from this iconic story right there on a card for you. And some of the uncommons, are on the simple side, and they're actually, I tried to keep them mostly somewhat simple and approachable. But there is one that I got a little wacky with because I just had to.
This one is wild, yep. All right, let's see our next preview card here. The City on the Edge of Forever, along with its token there. Everybody at home, take a sec, read this, digest it. Real quick, what's the story that's being talked about
That's
here?
interesting.
Yeah, so The City on the Edge of Forever is, depending on who you ask, the best episode of Star Trek of all time. It is pretty high in fan polls. It's often in the conversation. It is a beloved episode. And I wanted to capture that here. And I really wanted to use the phasing mechanic to do it. And they're like, really, phasing? And we tried a lot of other things and eventually came all the way back to phasing. So you're not going to see a ton of phasing cards in the set, but it is the right thing here. Because in the episode, they travel back in time, they mess something up. The whole world as they know it basically goes away. It's all phased out. And this lady, Edith Keeler, here on the right, if she stays alive, the world will stay phased out as these characters knew it. So as it turns out, despite the fact that Kirk loves Edith Keeler must die. And and they end up killing her in the end, and everything comes back to reality. So with this card, first everything phases out, and you make Edith right here. Then you kind of look around, you draw some cards, get some knowledge, and then at the end you sacrifice a creature token, which could be Edith Keeler to make sure everything comes back.
Heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking. But maybe you're like, I want the episode to play out differently this time. I'm going to sacrifice.
So it's
my
not
one
a
officer
board wipe.
token.
It phases
And
everything
now
out.
everything is still phased
Crazy.
out, and there's a little mini game around this card. It's a very, very interesting card and an interesting answer to artifacts and creatures, a little temporary board wipe. So a really wild one to play with, and definitely a unique oddball. This is by far the wildest one in the set, and I hope you all enjoy it.
All right. As much as Tom might like us to, we can't stick with the original series forever. Let's take a quick peek around some cards for the next generation, starting with Dr. Beverly Crusher here.
More doctors.
Yeah, doctors,
Nice.
of course, throughout the set, all kinds of famous doctors in Star Trek. And this is one that just made so much sense. We came with this design really early, and it stuck almost the entire way through. I believe this was Ethan Fleischer, so shout out to Ethan. It's a life gain trigger doubler, and also it's a Johnny's Pride Mate that gets bigger as you gain life. So a lot of great things players like in one place, and I think this will be a very popular commander to build around.
So see life
And
games.
Tom, there's
Yes.
that L card.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
It's so beautiful here.
a little roaming throne on top of it.
Surge foil, yep. that is, and by the way,
is-
that is simulated.
Yeah.
When we get closer to the actual release, we'll have some physical ones and some videos and some really cool ways to show off that treatment. But yeah, Surge foil is very exciting. Okay, our next generation card, Crystalline Entity. This one's kind
This
of
one's
wild.
wild.
Gavin.
Yeah, so this is a really iconic moment with this huge, wild, almost inscrutable creature, Eldrazi-like almost in a way. And like I said, I looked for those areas where you've kind of found that combination of Magic and Star Trek.
Yeah.
And when you look at this thing, you're like, this could just be on a Magic card in a set somewhere, right? Like it totally makes sense.
It's an elemental. Yeah.
There's so much to love about this. And so this is a cool mythic. It's a huge board sweeper creature, which you don't see all the time.
Yep.
If you're playing any kind of artifact commander deck, you'll want to jam this in there. In Limited, it is a great curve topper. It might even have some standard applications. Maybe you love Urzatroning this out. I don't know. There's all kinds of options you could do here. It is a very, very, very cool card. And I love when you find something that is so elegant. It doesn't have that much game text on it.
Yeah.
But you read it and you're
God.
like, wow, that's powerful.
Thanks for hooking up
And the flavor
Ashling
text, too,
again.
from Jean-Luc Picard himself does well to sum up everything going on here.
Absolutely. All right, and next we are going to visit Deep Space Nine with
Okay,
our next
okay.
preview card.
You just didn't make the
In
main.
the Pale Moonlight.
Yeah, Deep Space Nine is my personal
It's a
favorite of the
fight!
series. I love this one, and I wanted to make sure it had cool saga representation. So this is one of the most iconic episodes as a saga. Make your opponents to sack some stuff, investigate, and then you get the choice if you want to sacrifice that clue token, perhaps, or maybe a creature to make 2 Romulan tokens. Another brand new kind of token for the set.
Now, Gavin, you were saying earlier that we're hitting all the TV shows. When you said it, did you mean like all the TV shows?
Yeah, we got them all in there, even the animated ones. Yeah. And here's something I'm very excited about, which is we got Lower Decks, of course, a fan favorite, which is in here.
You're getting some cheering from the booth.
You can't see them. Producers back are like shaking. Yeah. All right, so we got Brad Boimler, Eager Ensign, and Beckett Mariner.
Yeah, so these two iconically are together all the time in the Lower Deck show, and we had to make sure that they were not only in the set, but that they worked well together. So we'll start with the one on the right with Beckett. Whenever she becomes tapped, she sort of works toward her promotion, but it never quite works out. She gets too close to promotion, and she does something reckless and gets demoted a little bit. Brad, on the other hand, when he becomes tapped, he increases the number of counters that go on your creatures this turn. And of course, there are mini counters in the set. +1/+1 counters can go on things. When you station a spacecraft, it helps out those kind of counters.
Yep.
But in the case of Beck in particular, maybe you help her get promoted a little quicker than normal and dealing damage to your opponent. So a really nice 1-2 punch. And we loved finding ways for these iconic character duos to come together, especially in limited. You'll note these are both uncommon cards. So sometimes in draft, in red-white, you will just have both of these in your deck. And I think that's a really cool way that these turned out.
Now we also, with most sets these days, or a lot of
Kind of
them, we
on spot
do
for
a
Beckett.
special
Kind of
bonus
basic, but
and
not
these
bad.
often come with reprints that are not standard legal. This set's no different. But I do love sort of the theming and the whole idea behind these star dates cards. So, Tom, what is the idea behind the star dates?
Yeah, for this collection of reprint cards, we leaned into this. Well, first of all, a lot of the properties we showcased the original series and Voyager and Deep Space Nine to a certain extent in big ways. But here we lean into a lot of the movies, a lot of the different eras and episodes over here. We're showing it in a way that is like kind of a movie poster style, like little vignettes of moments from the movie or a scene to kind of tell a full story. And they turned out epic. The one that we're about to show. I don't want to steal your thunder.
There you go.
There's no
Shelley is now Khan.
Thunder's in the card here. There's Khan.
Kind of a bummer we don't get the old school Khan.
Also known as Shoulder the Apocalypse.
Powerful magic card.
Powerful magic card.
It's amazing to see this version of Khan. We're definitely seeing other versions of Khan. And,
One of the really challenging things we had to try and figure out is how did we want to represent.
What?
He did mention we're going to see other versions of Khan. So
Okay.
We'll see an older version.
The
of
J.J.
Khan.
Abrams movies in the set, right? How do we want to kind of make that all work? And what we decided is we would not put them on cards in the main set, but we would feature those characters on the Stardate sheet.
Cool.
So that's where you'll see all the stuff from the Kelvin timeline showing up here, as well as some other alternate universes and various nooks and crannies. And I had a lot of fun going back through Star Trek lore and trying to find the alternate versions of characters that you could do and show up.
Yep.
And Khan is a very exciting one, but there's all kinds of cool reprints on this sheet.
there's a lot of these too, right?
There's a good number of these. Yeah.
Well,
we're gonna
this
be
is
able to get
effectively
them
the
in,
first
all
Shelley reprint, I think.
All right.
And I'll note they're totally playable unlimited, by the way, too.
Yes.
So if you crack Shola Dread Unlimited, congratulations. It's a small card. You should take it.
Yep.
But they're not standard legal.
No, they're
What's
not.
that?
I said and this is the only Shelley reprint that's not standard legal, and that is on a bonus sheet. It's not even in the main set like Shelley was.
Legality.
Legal. Yep. All right. Now, one thing we haven't really talked about is, we hear it in a lot of what people talk about in Star Trek, which is exploring new worlds, seeing familiar worlds. But we haven't shown any lands yet. So can we expect some exciting lands in this set?
You absolutely can expect some exciting lands, especially one cycle of lands in particular. They're iconic, they're beloved, and you will find all 10 of them here in this set.
Wow.
They are, of course, the Shock lands.
There they are.
We wanted to show off so many different places that you visit, and the set has all kinds of cool lands, but these are 10 iconic ones that are here. And it also, I know many folks have asked, hey, with the change to standard rotation, the dual lands are going to be kind of out of sync. And don't worry, these are coming right at the end of the year, so they'll be fully in this year, and you won't have any kind of strange asynchronous stuff happen with the way the dual lands rotate. But these are some of the best dual lands ever made in Magic.
Yep.
They are iconic. And if you look at all of them, you'll see so many cool places from across the galaxy shown off, as well as those flavor texts, I think are amazing. There's such a wide range of flavor text on these cards that really tell off a lot of tiny little stories from different episodes or different characters, different series. So look through them all, enjoy them. But you'll find all 10 of these dropping in the main set, which is really exciting.
And as much as I like flavor texts, we decided to do something different.
Yeah, with the Booster Fund.
versions.
Tom, obviously, we couldn't have done these without doing Booster Fund. So tell us about these.
So we leaned into the Elkar's frame. We got rid of like almost all the text here. We made textless Shocklands. This is the first time ever that we did this. And I mean, I don't have to tell you, the art just kind of like shines through here in the
So
biggest
amazing,
way.
yeah.
Very excited to like crack the seal on this. This is the perfect spot to do it, I thought.
Well, and Tom, again, I'm looking at to get back to the artists in classic. I'm seeing Sam Burley. I'm seeing Mark Poole. I'm seeing just really classic artists. How did you go about selecting who to do these landscapes?
Well, we always look at our legacy artists. We love the legacy artists coming back. Like like Mark Poole is like in his prime, right?
Yeah.
Like we can't get enough of him, honestly. Let's clone him. I'm sure there's some time travel thing that we can do. Where we
There's
get
some cloning
multiple
episodes out there.
versions
No
of
problem, no
Mark
problem.
Poole. Yeah. But the approach here is for lands is just finding somebody that can do amazing things with light. We don't have a character to focus on, right? And in that way, this is like a specialty that a lot of art artists focus in on. Yeah.
And they won't just come in this frame, but we also have them in Surge foil here. So again, we see the simulated Surge foil Elkar's frame. These again are going to look gorgeous when you actually get your hands on them.
Yeah, the Surge foil with the lighting effects in the art is insane.
Incredible.
Really great.
Incredible. So all 10 of them coming in this set. Now, Gavin, we always talk about Universes Beyond as being a great starting point for people to play Magic, to come in just because, in this case, they're a fan of Star Trek. And so, of course, do we have welcome decks for this?
Yes, absolutely. We wanted to have a great introductory experience for people, and so there'll be welcome decks for Star Trek. You'll be seeing more about these in the next few weeks, but because they're going to be kind of out in the world pretty soon, we wanted to show you some of the unique cards that are going to be in these decks. There are a number of unique cards. There's a rare and a mythic in each deck. We're just going to show this to you today. Now, these are not meant to be super flashy or exciting if you're a seasoned player, but if you're brand new and you're sitting down and playing Magic for the first time, it's supposed to be a cool encapsulation of that character. So here's up a card, for example, that buffs your creatures when he comes into play. And this operations officer that lets you spread some counters around a little bit. We'll kind of step through these a little bit. You'll see a few cool things. We got our first Spock that you're going to see right here. Honestly, draws a card every turn, nothing to be too sad about. And then a Q, which is something you'll see, not the only Q you'll see in this set. I'll put it that way. These are not in normal booster packs, of course. You'll not find these in your regular boosters, but you'll find them in these welcome decks. Now, let's pause on this black one for a little bit because this takes a little more explaining. There's kind of two interesting things going on here. The first are the Borg. So the way the Borg work in the main set, and also work here in the welcome deck, is we treated them kind of like artifact creature slivers. So they impact all your artifact creatures, and much like a hive mind, much like the Borg, you want to have a lot of them in play and grant their abilities to everybody. It's very cool. They're backwards compatible, of course, with other artifact creatures, but you can assemble all your Borg together and share all these abilities, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
And the Borg Queen, of course, giving everyone +2/+0, great for that, and also assimilating. So this is a brand new mechanic.
This is the one that we said we'd come back to.
Yes, absolutely. This is a unique one. It actually started off as something just in the commander decks, as it turned out. And then I liked it enough that we pulled it for a few other cards because saying that the Borg were assimilating things was just so iconic. So there's not a ton of this in the main set at all. You'll find some in the Borg commander deck, of course. But what assimilating means is you take a creature, put it on the battlefield under your control, give it a +1/+1 counter, and it becomes a Borg. So you literally Borgify something, you turn it into a Borg. It is about as flavorful as you can possibly get.
Perfect.
And if you were listening close, you got a little bit of a sneak peek. Not a surprise one there, but there will be a Borg commander deck. We'll talk about the rest of the commander decks soon, but surprise. All right, we got two more of these. Let's take a look at the red welcome deck.
Yeah, here's another version of Kirk right here. There's a small Power 8 or greater theme in the main set as well that is expanded here a little bit. And your first look at a Klingon with the Klingon Strike Force.
There's Klingons.
Turns out,
Klingons in this set?
we put Klingons in the Star Trek set. And then on the green one has a bit of a landfall theme, and you'll see landfall in the main set as well. We thought it was actually a great flavorful fit for the for Star Trek because you're literally going to planets. You're landfalling quite often, and so visiting a lot of places, perhaps those cool dual lands we saw earlier, is a thing you'll do. Not in this welcome deck, but you will do a little bit of landfalling here, and there's a lot of other cool stuff going on with lands. We'll show you further down the road.
Yeah.
That's all the preview cards we have today, but this being the first look, of course we need to take a look at the full product lineup and all the cool ways that you can interact with, play with, or collect this set. So Gavin, tell us a bit about what we see up here on the screen.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool products beaming down with Star Trek, and let's talk about some of them here. So in the top left, you've got play boosters, of course, and right next to them are collector boosters, where you'll have a chance to open up one of those awesome headliner cards that we saw earlier. Next to those are the pre-release kits. Go down to your local game store and play in a pre-release of Star Trek. There's two different bundles here, both the normal bundle and a Beam Me Up bundle. You'll find the details on all these products on our website, of course, but there's two different kinds of bundles for this set. We've got Draftnet making a return, the welcome decks we mentioned in the bottom right, but I want to take a moment and focus in on a few of these products in particular. So let's start with the commander decks. So of course, we have 4 commander decks coming out with this set, both in a normal version and a collector's edition that is fully surge foil. I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of them, starting from the left to the right. So on the way, all the way to the left, we have Federation Fleet, a red, white, blue deck that features the time period of Picard and Janeway, and very much that era of the show. Next up, we have Landing Party, a green, white, blue deck that is all about the original series era, and really tries to capture not just those characters, but even the aesthetic of the original series. Next up, if you're a Klingon fan, we have a whole deck for you, and you'll be doing plenty of attacking in Klingon Fury. It is a good day to die indeed with this red, white, black deck. Get in the red zone and attack with your Klingons. And finally, last but do not call them least, we have the Borg deck, a white, blue, black deck that will be maybe assimilating your opponents a little bit, turning their creatures into the Borg Collective, and uses some of those artifact creature matter synergies we saw earlier. So a really cool mix of decks here, and a lot of fun to play. But maybe your friend is new and wants to get into this for the first time. Of course, Universes Beyond is an awesome landing place for brand new players. Well, we have the perfect product for you, the Beginner Box. I think this is one of the best learn-to-play experiences we've ever done for Magic. It's the perfect place to land and start playing. So let your friends beam on down to Magic the Gathering, grab one of these, sit down, start playing, and teach them how to play with the Star Trek Beginner Box. Finally, there is something here that you don't see with every set. We've got 2 scene boxes. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going on here. Each of these has 6 brand new Magic cards, and they all connect to make a scene using the art that you see here on the front of the box. On the right, we have Enterprise Q, using one of the most peculiar and wild characters in all of Star Trek, Q, who is doing some real wild shenanigans, and I cannot wait for you to see the cards in this box. They are wacky. On the left-hand side, I mentioned earlier during Stardates that we didn't put the J.J. Abrams films in the main set. They're in the Stardates only, but there is one other place they show up, and that is here in Divergent Timeline. We wanted to give them a little bit more action, and so you'll find 6 cards here for your favorite characters from those movies.
That is everything that we have to show you today. So speaking of further down the road, we are going to take a break from Star Trek for a little bit. But for this first look, so that distributors, stores, and everyone can get their minds wrapped around this fantastic looking set, we showed you some stuff today, and we're going to come back with more Star Trek in late October. The set releases in November. In the meantime, we are going to be at MagicCon Amsterdam this weekend. You know, when you watch this, not when we're recording this. There's a whole time thing going on here. But we're going to be in MagicCon Amsterdam. There's going to be a preview panel. There's going to be so much going on that weekend. So make sure you pay attention this weekend, that weekend, all the weekends. But until then, we'll see you next week.
All right. There you go. Let me pull up the Star Trek article. It might show us a little bit more. Star Trek MTG. All right, here we go. All right, so we got Kirk and Janeway. We know our signature cards. There are 5 others. Okay. So we have the expansion symbol, which should be the normal card. TRC, I don't know what that is. But the SDS expansion symbol, this should be your special guest cards with the actual ship on it. I'm assuming this one's Commander.
Are they like the Welcome Deck and Commander cards?
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, Commander set and then special guest or Stardates. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, the ones with the special the Enterprise on it is like, you know, it's the bonus sheet, the what they call that now, Stardates.
Yeah, and you can play with the Stardates in your draft, but not in standard.
That's correct.
Okay. And these are the MSRP guesstimates. They will probably try to jack it up further. You have $7 for Play Booster, 38 for Collector. Commander deck should average about 75. The special edition is $159, so that will creep up. You got the bundle, Beam Me Up bundle, which I assume is like the collector bundle or kind of like the pizza box. Beginner's box, draft night, and of course the scene box. So important dates, July. Okay, so there might review a few more Star Trek in regard, as well as Hobbit on Friday, I believe. Wait, when are they there? Oh, 17th. Okay, so Friday, I might not be here. We'll see if I can simulcast, but I will be over on Untapped, reviewing the live spoilers. So I will try to have a link for you guys in Discord at least, but do check that out. I'll be over on that channel as well as Evan, and we'll be talking the spoilers this Friday, so that's going to be exciting. All right. Presents Boldly Go. All right. So November 13th. I'm not sure what that is. Is that like the release? Huh.
Yeah, November 13th is the actual release date.
Oh, okay. Okay. So they'll have some in-store stuff to Boldly Go. Okay. Here's the cards that we saw. Booster Fun, yes. The signed cards. There's 5 of them. Or 5 others, rather. And we have our first Stardate card, which is the first reprint of Shelly. Alright. And here are the frame cards. How do you feel on these?
I was kind of glad to see them, and yes, it does evoke that feel of the old Decipher game, and I kind of like that. It makes it feel kind of more Star Trek-y, but also it gives it that that Magic the Gathering feeling with how it's laid out.
Yeah, and the other key thing too, which people haven't said one way or the other because they just don't want Star Trek and Magic, is that they did have artists do it. It's not just screenshots from the shows. So there is that. So I'll give them credit where credit's due. And of course, you have your shock lines in that treatment, and of course, you have the opportunity to pull the Surgies in the collectors. So we have classic Enterprise cards. So we have this retro frame. We have the next gen frame. We still get some borderless. Oh, that's a cool 7 of 9 there. That's pretty good. I don't know when she became Borg. I don't remember that, but okay. Oh, this is interesting. This is Beam Me Up promo cards. Yeah.
Yeah, this is in the gift bundle, the Beam Me Up bundle, and there are 2 of these of the 8 starships.
Ah. Okay, so 2 out of 8. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, you get 2 out of 8.
Okay, so there are 8 Beam Me Up promo cards. Each Beam Me Up promo contains 2 traditional foil Beam Me Up promo cards. Okay, so this is exclusive to that. Okay. See, I got excited because it said Borg and she's in black, but it's 3 colors, so it's like, oh. But she seems pretty cool. I like that she's a lord, giving your artifact creatures +2. And then when it enters, you get to steal a creature from opponent's graveyard. So I think that's pretty cool and fitting. So they did good there. Now everything is dilemma. You can commit a crime and have dilemmas now. Yay. Federation. Okay. So... Oh, and because it says non-board cards, it does rule out changelings, because changelings are everything. So that makes sense. Okay, I was trying to understand that. But we have our first starship, and there we go, the Enterprise D. Only a 3-drop. But it would be 7 to make it a thing. And when one or more charge counters are put on the Enterprise for the first time each turn, exile top card of your library and play that. This might be just fun to throw in Prosper. Promo cards. Okay. Alright, so these are the promo cards. Highly illogical. Munitionist enthusiast. And then Sad Robot being Data's daughter. That's interesting.
Well, she's a sad robot.
Yeah, she is. She's sad. Didn't last long. Yeah. Burst Lightning. Okay. So these you can get at your store. Yeah, and got the play box, 30 packs still. There's the breakdown. Collectors. And, of course, the decks. And I'm bummed, no Jund deck. I was hoping that Borg would be mono black, but yeah, if they're trying to be more Sliver-esque, it's got to be all color. I wonder why it's just 3. But there's your color combinations for the decks. And, of course, they want you to buy the blinged out version. There's your regular bundle. Then we have the Beam Me Up bundle. So it's 8 play, 1 collector. And 2 promo cards. Beginner box is with the themed Jumpstart half decks. These are set. So whatever's in those Jumpstart is what it is. It's not random Jumpstart. Okay, 2 Game Boy playmats, reference 2 dice. That's cool. And 5 non-foil tokens. Okay. And they've been trying to push the this one. It does come with 12 play boosters and 1 collector for the draft night, but the price isn't really there yet. Do you buy a play or do you buy a draft night? That's the question. It's about the same price. And of course, you have your scene box. You have the Divergent timeline, will be interesting, and then Enterprise Q, so a lot of Q shenanigans. These, of course, come with the 3 play boosters, and the scene cards, and the art cards, and the easel. There is the pre-release kit. Not bad. Just a shuttle. All right, there you go, guys. Crazy.
Yep.
So, how are you feeling on it, Brian?
I'm feeling it's solid. It's not real good. It's not Spider-Man bad. Or like Aether Drift bad. It's just solid. It's almost good, but I've got to see more for it to be really great. The city on the edge of forever. Somebody's got to find a way to break that.
Yeah.
Because I know there's ways to add or subtract counters from your sagas.
Well, all you need, Jamie agrees with you. It seems solid. It's not too hard to break it, to be honest. But at 5 or 6, there are other things that can help you win the game already. But basically, all you have to do is have a Lightning Greaves or Swiftfoot Boots or Loxodon, whatever. Just make that 1-drop or the 0/1 drop, make the token indestructible and uncounterable, or not counterable, but hexproof or shroud or something, and that can lock down the game.
Swifty Boots or Missile Coat.
Yeah. So, make that token unattackable, unblockable, or not unblockable, but just basically put some protection on it, and everything that phased out is gone. Pretty much. There's other ways of getting rid of it, but, I would pack some exile in your decks. You should have some interaction anyways. So, some removal, some whatever. As soon as that token hits, you got to find a way of getting rid of it. Because if it stays, everything that's phased out is phased out, and it will really mess up blink decks.
Yeah, that whole thing is going to be like the next what is it, the Faceless Haven, and the Book of Exalted Deeds.
Right.
That combo.
I mean, it's a combo, but you're not messing with it till like turn 5 as is. So.
Well, that was the same thing with Book of Exalted Deeds and then the other.
Mm-hmm.
You
but it seems like a lot of work to make it work, and that's why we don't see those decks that often. You know. I don't know, but yeah, all you need is a Swiftfoot Boots or Lightning Greaves at least. Equip it right when that thing comes in, and you can potentially lock down the game.
Yeah.
So, scary, but not too concerned. There are way more better threats at 5 drop.
But I'm also worried about Q. We haven't seen the actual Q card.
Well, we saw a Q card. They said there are several Qs.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
But the one that we know, the main one that's been in a lot of the series,
Q.
yeah.
Because you've got the main Q, you've got Trelane from the original series, which they've retconned both in print and comics and everything to be Q. Well, actually, they actually retconned it in Strange New Worlds that it was a Q.
Okay. All right. The signed cards.
These are gonna the non-Magic playing collectors are gonna go bonkers for this. They will pay massive amounts of money.
You say that though, but honestly, most that I find, and hopefully we'll get things ironed out. So Dan is with us on Thursday. We'll talk about it more. But toys and unless it's like extremely rare, most of the Star Trek toys and collectibles aren't a lot. Like you could find old figures and they're like
it's not the card itself. It's the actual real signature.
Yeah. Well, that's the first time we've done it too. So these will be expensive, but I don't know.
The fact that they're limited to around 200, so they're probably going to be like 225, 250.
Yeah.
And especially to get older people like Kirk and maybe some of the older characters that are much older, that would be because they might be passing away soon.
Yeah.
Because we recently lost Sam Neill from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I heard that.
So and Shatner's in his 90s now.
Right.
So,
but I like that they're actually signed on cards. So
yes.
with the sports and trading cards, and yes, we keep getting closer and closer too. It's typically they hand them a sheet of it's not Scotch tape, but basically they sign on tape and they tape that to the card. This way they can do multiple sets, different multiple different sets, and even after they're long gone, they could still put it on their planned set. So this is not the case necessarily. It would be amazing to pull one and actually see it. It's not going to be easy to do so, but I would like to see one of these cards and see if it's just an additional layer that they put over on top, but it sounds like they actually signed the cards themselves. So
Yes,
that
they
is
signed
very
the cards
unique. Yeah,
themselves.
right.
That's what
Right.
they said. They said, so the guys were there with them when they were signing them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is real signatures. It's not somebody copying. It's not a stamp. It's not some
Yeah.
ink stamp where they have a copy of the signature and they go patoom 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 patoom.
Yeah.
No, they sat there and they individually signed 200 plus of these cards. So that's gonna be a big thing because just to get these signatures, you're paying at least $100 to
Right.
be able to get one of these. You're probably paying thousands to try to find one in a collector booster.
Mm-hmm. Knowing my luck, I'd probably end up pulling Janeway somehow. Is my guess. I don't know. But yeah, collector only, get actual signed cards. It's cool. And some people had problems with Cumberbatch being on a card, but here he is.
But
Getting in that
like I
cursing
said,
track.
this is the bonus sheet, so you won't see a lot of him. We're probably going to see that classic Ricardo Montalban card in that that TOS frame that we saw out there, and that's gonna do a lot of things.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see what else they reprint. But sorry. It'd be interesting to see what they reprint, but yeah, first Shelley reprint. It's Cumberbatch.
I would say, I mentioned earlier Cryptic Command, and I think that they might do Cryptic Command in this set. And
Well,
as far as the bonus sheet.
we might see some modal stuff from Outlaws as well. So we might get some Outlaw reprints, some of the modal cards like Cryptic Command, like you said. Maybe some reprints of the Charms, is my guess. Because those are cheap and modal.
But the Charms would be kind of useful because they got Exile and stuff on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm scared to think about Q because I think, like Kirk, Q's going to have a lot of different.
Oh, what's up, Jimmy? I said I found ancient phasing cards. I thought they might bring it back with some of the Beam Me Up. Well, no, those are all going to be ships. So the promo card in the Beam Me Up bundle is going to be 2 of 8 total ships that are at least for the promo. So those are all going to be basically like the old what do you call it? Sorry, I'm blanking so hard. Schematic cards, yeah. They're basically fancy schematic cards, right? I mean, but in next gen style, but they're like the schematic cards. So kind of cool. If you're into the ships and stuff, definitely a good pickup. Me personally,
something I'm looking forward to is possibly another go at Planet Lands.
Oh yeah, that's possible.
Because we'll have different home worlds like Klingon, Vulcan, maybe maybe some uncommon stuff like the Nutara Nebula. Places you can stay, or the nebula where the founders were in. Places you can station up to do things with.
Hex likes that Shieldred is Khan. It's kind of cool. think Cryptic could be in the set proper. It sucks now. Yeah. You lose on turn 2 and 3 on standard now. Oof. Yeah, well, I don't know. This is the first one we see, so I would assume they have to get another big staple besides Shelly to really push the set. So we might see more bigger hitter cards. It would be lovely. I don't know how maybe the pit where Tara died or something, but I would love to see a working reprint of Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth, because that thing's shooting up like stupid. It's like $60-$70 right now.
You know, you might be right. That would be a Armis. An Armis would be a good reprint of Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth.
Right. And it will be silly to see what they do with Wesley.
Yes. So Wesley still with that's.
Can we please get a card that says "Shut up, Wesley"?
That's gonna be in the Enterprise Q scene box.
You
There's
think?
gonna
Yeah.
be a card that says "Shut up, Wesley." If we don't get that, we riot.
Oh man, that would be classic.
And you know what it's gonna be? It's gonna be a fog.
Yeah, right? That'd be hilarious. All right, so basically it looks like we're getting 2 treatments, is the TOS and the original series retro like this, and then we got the next gen-ish border.
Yeah,
So those are going to be your fancy alternate arts.
And then you got.
I don't remember Jane being Borg. I must have missed that episode, dude.
That was the last episode, and technically, that's Admiral Jane. Well, no, that was the first time she was Borg. She was turned Borg a couple times. One as regular Borg, as the regular thing, and the other one was Admiral Janeway as a Borg. That was in the final episode.
Okay.
Must
I
have been
remember watching it. I just don't remember. I don't know. The schematics are kind of cool.
It really gives that aesthetic of looking at a ship, what it does,
Yeah, and it's just done like as if we saw it on one of the monitors, so it's kind of cool. I don't know, but I'm not getting the sense to rush out. Like, I wouldn't mind the Borg Queen. She seems dope, but...
it's not a rush out and buy it. I think they're trying to ease off on the gas, but still make it, pretty decent to play with in terms of playability, both standard and commander.
Yeah. And, the dilemma thing where you draw a card, that's not bad. It's not broken or anything by any means, but... definitely in Dimir, you'll have a lot of the dilemma, apparently. So, if you're a Dimir player, you got a bunch of fun stuff to play with. Yeah, I don't know yet. I know I want to collect this just so that I can do Battleship Commander. That'd be great. So I know that me and Chris, even though it's not popular, we were talking about getting as much as we can to try to finish the set just for.
I'm looking on the spoiler site, and they're thinking that the "Shut Up, Wesley" should be silence.
That could work. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I can agree with that.
I totally agree with that. That would be perfect. And they got to get the meme in, but I don't know. Offend someone? I don't know, dude. Whatever. It's in the show, dude. They tell them shut up so many times. It's great. And I love that it's all the captain. Has enough. Is always the one telling them to shut up. It's funny. All right. Well, that is Star Trek, everyone. Or last word. Yeah, last word could work too, Hex. Instead of silence.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Just saying that makes me think of a post that somebody had posted. I think it was from like a Magic Gathering thing, but because of the Star Trek thing, they were doing like a Star Trek Muppets with the yep.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Oh, no, I collect everything. All right. Yeah, honestly, ooh. Where are you, dude? Wasn't the last live stream. The hell? Oh, okay. I had to click the wrong thing. All right. No. Damn it, Bobby. Yeah, I didn't set up the thing for the stream. Come on. It's not letting me hit details either. Huh. Huh. Won't let me fix it while live. It's interesting. Anyways. All right. Well, my takeaway from this is, like I said, I still want to do Battleship Commander with all the ships, but I'm not feeling the rush, the excitement that you would get from a new set. It's just kind of like, oh, okay. It's kind of the feel that I have. I'm not totally adverse to Star Trek being in Magic, but at the same token, it's like, okay. I'm not sold yet. Let's just put it that way. Like, I am going to try to get some because I want the ships and stuff, but yeah. And the fact that all the commander decks are outside my color pie kind of makes me sad too. So I'm not rushing to buy any of it. I will obviously try to have some deals for play and collectors just so that we get to open the set when it comes out. But other than that, I'm not rushing. I don't know.
No,
it's funny. I'm
not a real
FOMOing
rush
hard off
thing.
of Marvel superheroes than this.
Well, between that and then we've got both The Hobbit and Reality Fracture. I'm not
Right.
big on Reality Fracture. I just think it's
Well,
It's-
the hype behind it is that it's in universe, and they haven't done something like this since Time Spiral. As far as well, there's Time Spiral, and what's the other one where they switch things up? Fate, not
Fate
Time.
Reforged.
Huh? Fate Reforged. Okay, so Fate Reforged and Time Spirals when they did that, where they messed with the color pie intentionally.
I don't know, but it's it's all Reality Fracture feels like to me.
Planar Chaos. Thank you, Hex.
Planar Chaos.
Yeah.
All Reality Fracture feels like to me is to take a Star Trek reference, Mirror Universe Strixhaven. And
Yeah, that's what it is. Because we only had the 5 schools, so now we have the opposite 5 schools. So, all right. Well, mainly the hype is that it's in universe. So it's gonna do well because people want to push in universe. So I wouldn't be surprised, even if they don't get a lot of like big banger cards in the set, that the collectors will probably shoot up, like a little bit. You know, I don't know. We'll see. But Friday again, I will be hopefully joining Decked Out or Evan's group. He is remotely covering the spoiler panel live, so I'll be over there and hanging out with him and talking about all the new stuff that they're gonna drop in at Amsterdam. So I got to find the time and all that, and I will let you guys know, at least in Discord, when we'll be over there and hopefully have a link and everything for you. So I got to talk to him this week and see what's up. But we will be back Thursday, probably discussing more Star Trek and any other Magic news. That's always every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to check in on Thursday with us. And, of course, Late Night EDH on Sundays. But I will let you guys know when we do that preview panel and where to go and all that fun stuff. So be on the lookout for that. But we will see you back here Thursday. Was there anything else you wanted to say about Star Trek first look here, Brian?
There's a lot of things we haven't seen yet.
Of course.
But I'm thinking we might see more shapeshifters because of the founders. So we're going to see at least Odo and maybe some of the other ones. There's also maybe maybe some brain. There's some basic stuff that is probably going to be pretty powerful.
Well,
but
I'm
for
curious.
now, I gotta get going.
Same, yeah. All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in on this late live but still live presentation. Yeah, I'm eager to see a Shut Up Wesley card. I don't even care if it's blue. I need one. Just because it's hilarious. But other than that, I will catch you guys all later. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.